Podtacular episode 382, Bundle of Champions, for July 12th, 2013. Hello everyone, welcome to Podtacular, the unofficial Halo Universe podcast. I'm your host, Duststorm.
And I'm your other host, Brent Gamer.
And we are back shortly after our last podcast, which we talked about some RTX goodies from our experience, from Brent's and mine's experience specifically, talking about all the stuff of the panels, of the show floor, this time that we had with Gripball Hub and all that stuff. But of course, we had the Halo panel on Saturday, which came out with some pretty spastastic information. We have some new maps coming in. We got some new armor mods, some new armor skins, weapon skins, all that good stuff. So we're going to be talking about that on today's podcast. And of course, going from what we saw on Saturday's panel, you guys are definitely going to be excited for some stuff that's going to be coming out here. Wouldn't you say so, Brent?
Oh yeah, I think you're going to get real excited.
Yeah.
No, well, maybe, possibly.
I think people are going to get pretty excited.
Yeah. I mean, if you enjoy Halo still, you will probably get excited about this stuff, so
I think so.
Prepare thyself.
Prepare thyself to be amazed.
Yes.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. So, before we get to all the new stuff that's come out, although it was kind of announced on Saturday RTX, there are a few other things that came up on the Waypoint blog before their post of the bulletin that covered most of their stuff that they did at RTX. First of which is actually the new Halo book. So the Karen Traviss series, which is the Kilo 5 series, has announced the third book. It's called Mortal Dictata, and that's the final book of the trilogy. So some pretty cool. It's going to be pretty nice to see this kind of wrap up. As far as the previous two novels that have come out so far, the first one was Glasslands, the second one was Thursday War, both of which I've finally gotten through and read. They're pretty good ones. They're on the caliber of the Eric Nyland books in terms of how they discuss the human covenant relationship. And if you kind of think about it, the way that Karen Traviss does hers compared to how Eric Nyland does his, Eric Nyland's books were mostly done from the purview of just the UNSC, where Karen Traviss's kind of takes the duality approach of looking at the UNSC and looking at the Covenant. So it's kind of like the difference between Halo 1 and Halo 2 if you think about it.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool, actually.
That is cool. I mean, it's always nice to get the other guy's side of the story, you know.
Yeah.
That was the fun of the Arbiter in Halo 2, was that you finally got to see what it was like in the Covenant kind of society a little bit. Would you suggest that somebody who has not read the Greg Bear novels or the Karen Traviss novels, which one would you tell them to read first?
Read the Karen Traviss novels first. They are more relevant to the current Halo storyline and are going to be a lot easier to get into than the Greg Bear novels. Mostly because the way the books are written, for those that have read the Eric Nyland books, it's a very kind of militaristic style of writing. It's kind of straight and to the point, not too frou-frou on like all the emotions and that kind of side of things. It's the storytelling is kind of similar to that of how the games are played and how the characters are developed in there. So it's a lot easier to really get into the Eric Nyland and the Karen Traviss stuff. And of course, the Karen Traviss books addresses the time frame between Halo 3 and Halo 4, so it's a lot more relevant to people. The Greg Bear books, they're written very, very differently. It's set in times way before the events of Halo. It has to deal with the Forerunners and the Born Stellar Didact and everything that's kind of like the whole mystical piece of the Forerunners and who they are. For some people, it kind of breaks that mystery, and then just being able to read it is a little bit difficult and hard to get at first. So if you're just getting into the books for the first time, definitely go for the Kilo 5 trilogy. That's the one you kind of want to start out with.
I want to read a Halo books trilogy written by B.S. Angel. That would be interesting to me.
Huh.
Think about it.
What would she
Think-
write about?
Think about all the innuendo.
Oh, dear God. I'm not sure if I want to think about that. Ugh. I don't know. It would
I would
be
read
interesting.
You know you would read it. Come on. If B.S. Angel put out a Halo book, you know
yeah,
you'd read it.
yeah, I would, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not necessarily questioning her abilities to write, but I mean, we've seen how she writes on the bulletins.
That's what I'm saying. Just like an entire novel of that. Like that'd be I would love that.
Okay.
I mean, it would make me happy. Even if she wrote like Halo short stories, like that would be cool.
That might be doable. That would be interesting to read.
Yeah. I've always wanted like a lot of short stories from the perspective of like humans who aren't in the UNSC. Just kind of, chilling out in the human cities.
So, just like bystanders, not necessarily the resistance, but just innocent bystanders.
Yeah, just like
I guess you could do it with short stories. Like if they came out with like another set of Evolutions stuff, you could probably do something like that. I haven't read through Evolutions, so there may be some stories in there like that.
maybe. I haven't.
So if we're getting yelled at right now, I'm sorry. I haven't read through all the books, people. There's still a couple I haven't read yet, but I'm trying to get through all the big important ones first.
But like kind of like that story that they have kind of the sub story in Halo ODST. I don't remember it perfectly. but
Sadie's
it's kinda-
story.
Sadie's story, it kind of tells the story of New Mombasa during the attack that destroyed it. Just some civilian stuff like that. That'd be fun for me to read. But yeah, I'm probably gonna start reading the Karen Traviss books first. I'm not gonna lie, like I just don't care about the Forerunners that much. I don't. Like, I know that I probably should. I mean, that they're a huge part of the Halo universe. Like, I just don't want to learn anything about that society. Just doesn't excite me.
I will say this. I will say this. Reading the books helped me understand the story behind Halo 4 a lot more. And they kind of designed it that way with the story where if people read the books, that it's a little bit more insight knowledge. And they said they tried to make a game where you didn't have to read the books, but they didn't do that very well.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I understand.
As far as like how from the perspective of the people's general opinions of the Foreigners, for people, at least from what I've heard, it takes the whole mystery of the Foreigners out of the equation. And some people liked having that mystery there, having the whole mystical, who are the Foreigners, like what happened to them, and having some of that kind of answered kind of throws some people off. I mean, I personally don't mind the reads behind it. Is interesting, although it they can go very, very deep and far with that kind of storyline if they wanted to. But people are going to be more, I think, attracted to the relevant current day stuff. So the Karen Traviss books are definitely the ones to look out for.
Yes. So look forward to that. Mortal Dictata by Karen Traviss. Coming when?
January 2014.
Oh man, so you got a while.
So
to
yeah,
wait.
it's a ways out. It's at least 6 months out. Yeah.
That's kind of disappointing.
Yeah, I was thinking that it might be out maybe by, like when the announcement first came out, like maybe by October, November.
Yeah.
2014 though, for January, that's still 6 months away. That's quite a time gap. And Silentian came out, what, 3 months ago?
Yep.
Or 2 months ago?
I think it was 3. I think.
Was it May or March? Anyways.
Halopedia.
So, I'm curious to see what the book is going to entail. And the cover is pretty interesting, too. There's a little girl looking over a Spartan helmet, and it looks like Naomi's helmet. For those that read the book, Naomi is one of the Spartans in the book. It looks like it might be her helmet that's lying there on the ground. So I don't exactly know what's gonna happen in this one.
Yeah, she doesn't seem real excited about finding a Spartan helmet. Like, I would be super excited. Be like, oh man, check this out, bro. It's Spartans.
Well, yeah, it looks like you have the crowd behind her just like walking by doing their everyday thing, and then there's this girl just looking over a Spartan helmet. It's like,
You know how much that thing's probably worth in that universe? Like, I would pick it up. I mean, really?
Well, could she pick it up?
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe might need to go get a
no,
hand truck or something. Like,
It's definitely a curious
yeah.
cover. It makes you wonder kind of what the story is going to entail.
Yeah, it makes you wonder. Because generally, when you think of Halo, you don't think of little girls in dresses. You know, I mean,
well,
I mean, do you?
It
I
may.
mean, the first thing.
Well, since I've read the books, I don't want to go into spoiler territory.
Okay, then don't. I mean, people.
But
people
there's
who have
something.
read know.
There's something at the end of Thursday War with how Thursday War ends, where there could be a connection here.
All right.
There could be a very very solid connection between this picture and the ending events of Thursday War.
All right. I'll need to read those books to understand what's going on here. So.
Yeah. So.
All right. I got you.
That's spoiler territory.
I got you. Understood.
So.
So yeah.
We will get to that in one of our spoiler casts.
Yes.
Definitely soon. We are planning to do a book a month, starting starting at the end of this month. So we will be doing, well, maybe more like every 3 weeks, but we're gonna have a special guest on at the end of this month to talk about Silentium, which is the first book of the Greg Bear novels. So that's gonna be lots of fun.
Yep, that one came out March 19th. So.
Okay, so it's been out for 4 months. Just about 4 months. So yeah. Alrighty. Or sorry, Cryptum. The first one's gonna be Cryptum. Sorry. Oops, wrong. It's the first one. It's Cryptum. Anyways, we'll get to that one here in a little bit. So, this last book of the Kilo 5 trilogy, again, Mortal Dictata, coming out in January 2014. So, with that said, next thing on the list is there is the official soundtrack for Halo 4 Forward Unto Dawn, being composed and released. So this is music done by Nathan Lanier. So you can go and get your copy of the Halo 4 Forward Unto Dawn soundtrack now. It's available on Xbox Music, probably available on Amazon and iTunes as well. So definitely go check it out. I will be buying it as soon as I can from Amazon, because that's where I buy most of my music from. There's an interview on their website as well, talking about how he came up with some of the ideas behind composing the score for Forward Unto Dawn, kind of things that drew him to the project, what made the project different from other projects, different types of influences when making the score, all that good stuff. So there's an interview on Halo Waypoint, and we will link it, of course, in the podcast post for you to go by and check out. What do you think of the music in Forward Unto Dawn? I thought it was very cinematic, worked very well. I didn't really notice it that much, and a good soundtrack is usually one that you don't notice. It complements a film very well, but it doesn't stand out.
Right.
So the fact that I didn't really notice it just like too out of the blue, I think that just means that it was very well done.
Yeah, I mean, it's good stuff.
The Halo 4 game soundtrack, on the other hand, well.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, we have our gripes about that one. Yeah.
Me. Championship bundle stuff. We're moving on to that.
Yeah, I guess. As well, I mean, we can't really talk too much about the soundtrack, I guess.
Well, I guess we could kind of like whistle some of the songs.
I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a soundtrack.
It's a soundtrack. 21 different tracks on it, so I will say that much.
Yeah, that's good.
I didn't see a price in here actually when looking through the post. It is up for an Emmy though. So that list of Emmys that we talked about last week? Yeah, last week?
Yes.
The score is up for an Emmy.
Cool.
So that's awesome. So yep, it's been released on all major digital platforms. 21 songs by Nathan Lanier. So go check it out. So
I kind of hope that the success of Forward Unto Dawn kind of pushes Microsoft to make another kind of short movie series for Halo 5.
well, they have the TV series coming out for Xbox
Yeah.
One.
But I'm saying, like, I would like prefer another kind of what they did with Forward Unto Dawn for the next Halo.
I mean, what's to say that the TV show is not going to be similar?
Maybe. I don't know. We don't know anything about the TV show. That's the problem. Like, I mean, the more I know about the TV show, yeah, if it could fill that gap, that'd be fine with me. Like, I mean, in theory, the TV show would be an even better experience because it's long form and you can actually get the kind of story you want in there. You can have real character development and stuff like that. The Forward Unto Dawn is more like a movie than a TV series, just broken up into parts. I guess that's why they released Forward Unto Dawn, in its entirety on Blu-ray, and I think it's still up on Netflix. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it doesn't matter
It
to
is.
me because I've got it on
Yeah, I've got it
Halo
on Blu-ray.
Waypoint. Yeah.
I've got it on Blu-ray.
So yeah, I'm excited about the Halo live action stuff. I always like that stuff because to me it kind of makes the universe more real. I can actually relate to the universe because I'm seeing actual humans in that universe. It just helps connect me to the experience.
Yeah, and they did very well with Forward Unto Dawn.
Oh yeah, that was great stuff. I mean, even with the characters, you would think that a short form kind of, not short form, but a film style Halo movie, you wouldn't actually be able to care about the characters that much because, I mean, there's a lot of characters in this show and they don't have a whole lot of time to set up, motivations and, flaws and things like that. But I mean, like Kyler Silva, that's a great character. Thomas Lasky's a great character. Sully's a great character. I mean, April Arensky, that's a great character. They're all pretty good characters,
All of them were great characters.
Yeah. So good stuff.
The casting they did for this was really, really well done.
And even the Chief was cool. Like, I was worried Master Chief was going to be, like, lame in comparison to his actual video game, the persona, but he's a total badass in Forward Unto Dawn. Like,
They nailed him very, very, very well for this role.
yeah. So great job, dudes.
Yep. And
Great job.
good luck on the Emmys, guys. There was
Yes.
a quite a laundry list of Emmys that we listed off on the last show, so good luck to you guys for those. And of course, now on to the big stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So we had the Halo 4 Global Championship this weekend. And that was at RTX. And of course, I participated in it. Brent participated in it. Like we talked on the last show, we didn't quite make it that far. I made the top 64. Brent made it through the first round.
Yep. I mean, that was accidental on my part, though.
No, yeah.
It wasn't because I'm terrible at Halo. I mean, I'm decent at Halo. I just actually forgot to schedule my next match, which is probably worse than being bad at Halo. I mean, at least if you're bad at Halo, you didn't disqualify yourself, through some sort of stupid, all I had to do was just keep sitting there until that guy walked by, but I didn't know. Nobody told me, and then that guy I was going to kind of stand around and, wait on everyone else. I was going to wait on you after they gave me my t-shirt, and then they told me I had to leave. So I just figured I was done,
Yeah, that was weird.
But it was just a big mix-up. It was my fault. I kind of regret not being able to get into that next match, but it's not a big deal because I got my free t-shirt. Oh, it's a good t-shirt.
Yay, t-shirt.
Yay.
So, of course, that went from Friday through to Sunday, and they had two of the brackets from the top 64 and the top 32 being played on the main stage, and then all the games from the top 16 on were played for through the championship. So for the RTX event, the top 6 people were advanced to the finals, and that is an all-expense paid trip to the finals whenever and wherever that may be. And the winners to the RTX event are got a few pros in here and a few kind of people in here that we at least haven't heard of. They're not. I don't think they're necessarily pro. They're just kind of general Halo players. But We have Snipe Down, Goofy, and Strong Side. Most of you, at least competitive listeners, will probably know the names of. There's Toxic Nate. And then there's also Footed Panda and Dale's 967. So they have an all-expense-paid trip to the finals for the Halo 4 Global Championship. And, of course, the winnings for that for first place is $200,000. So that's going to be crazy. Each 6 of those finalists also got a UNSC Vanguard Games case, which is the ones where you basically can put your Xbox in and take it around. It has a built-in screen, speakers, and all the plugs for that kind of stuff. So each one of the top 6 got one of those cases, which they're really sweet. All the stations that you played for the Global Championship had the Vanguards there. So they had a total of 34 Vanguards that were out on the floor, and then the ones that they also gave away. So that was pretty insane.
Yeah, that was nuts.
It's like, can I have one of those?
Yeah. I mean, they're pretty cheap, right? Just give me one. Just give me one of these 36. You don't want to take them home.
You have extra ones, right? Right?
Yeah,
right?
I mean, it doesn't matter you're running on a dev kit, whatever. Just give it to me.
Oh, boy. So that was done over the event of RTX. And congrats to the top 6 that were there. Bravo, Ghostyame, and Golden Boy were commentating. They did a pretty good job throughout the 343 stream on Sunday. So that was pretty cool to watch. Let's see. Moving on from the RTX event, move on to the Halo 4 panel that was on Saturday. So lots of news coming out of here. The big one of which is the Halo 4 Championships bundle. And this includes some pretty interesting things. One of which, of course, is two of which, of course, are new maps. And first map, of course, the return of Pitfall.
Woo! It's the pit.
It's the pit. It is back. Everyone's
and it
happy.
really is the pit. Like, it's
Yeah.
not a
Legitimate.
spiritual successor. It is the pit.
It is legitimately the pit.
Oh yeah.
And we had some gameplay. We had some fly through on it. It looks awesome.
Yes. Imagine the pit, but now it's like 500 years in the future, and like everything's all busted up, and like things are growing around kind of the structures inside the training facility. Like, the Earth is reclaiming the pit.
Right. Think of a rundown pit with all the sand dunes and everything that would be coming across the plains of Africa.
Yes.
And that's what you got. It looks sweet. Now,
I mean, it's awesome.
Now, I was never that good at pit, personally. Whenever I would play MLG, I would always get my butt kicked. I am not a good player on pit. I know a lot of people enjoy playing it. I enjoy playing on it. I'm just not good at it.
I think the reason people enjoy the pit is because
it's so
geometrically,
geometrically
simple. I mean, just it's not real crowded. It just feels geometrically pure in a way. It's very much Halo 1 style combat arena. It's got large lines of sight, different elevations. There's like 3 different levels of elevation on the map. It's just a really fun competitive map. And now they're bringing it back. I was decent at the pit, but because it was so popular with the competitive community, every time you'd play anybody who was really, really good at Halo, they would just beat your butt. I mean, that's the point. I mean, generally, in each Halo game, there's one map that the pros absolutely love, and they will get extra, extra, extra good at that map, and anyone else is just going to get decimated on it. And for Halo 3, that was kind of the pit, if not Guardian.
Right.
So I'm glad to see it come back, though. It's always good when a popular map gets remade. There is 2 big changes kind of in the same area on the pit. I think they're the only 2 large changes that are here. You can probably explain it better than I can because I don't remember location names and things like that.
Yeah, that's fine. So the layout is pretty much identical to that of the Halo 3 pit. You have all the ramps, all the rooms, you have Green Hall, you have Long Hall, Rocket Jump, patio, Snipe Towers, all that good stuff. And of course, every map that they've remade, they've made some kind of small change to it. I think maybe with the exception of Midship to Heretic. That was pretty much an identical remake. The changes on the pit that I think are pretty big game changers, actually, are so in the sword room there's a drop down, so there's a hatch that is open on the new map Pitfall, and then on the opposite side of that, on the bottom level, on the under the hallway underneath sword, there's actually a gravity lift up to that back hallway. So that's gives another avenue for people to come in, throw grenades, and it's a little bit harder to camp there with sniper, because I know from professional or competitive Halo, you would have the snipers kind of sit up in those windows. So now there's some other ways to get in there. So that opens up that room quite a bit, actually. Yeah. Of course, there is going to be a variant on ship day. So if people want, or if competitive players want to put kind of that classic pit feel back in, you can close the top and you can block off that back part where the gravity lift is. But those are the changes. Forge. Yes, via Forge. So those are the changes that you can put in for, those are the changes that were introduced into Pitfall as the remake for the pit. Of course, just fanatic about having the pit back in the game. It's going to be so much fun.
Oh yeah, I'm excited for it. They specifically said that the pit is the premier map for their new game type Ricochet, as we mentioned in our last podcast.
Yes.
It definitely does have that kind of sports arena style feel to it. It looks like a lot of fun. That's the map that they showed off their first full game of Ricochet on the preview we saw at the Halo panel at RTX. And the bases where the flags are generally, those are where the goals are. And as we were saying earlier, in Ricochet, you run around, you grab a Griff ball. It's basically the Griff ball or the odd ball or whatever. But in Ricochet, it seems like the ball has increased bounce physics. So it's much more bouncy than the Griff ball or the odd ball.
It's quite bouncy. Quite bouncy.
Yes. So you grab the ball and you can either throw it into the opponent's goal or run it in for more points. So it's a lot like basketball or soccer or things like that. They were comparing it to football. But if you think about the way football works, like that analogy, it's really not very relevant. So yeah, you just it looks like a fun game type. It's Griff Ball meets shooty Halo, basically. I don't want to disparage Griff Ball, because Griff Ball takes a lot of strategy, and the whole point of that game type is that there are no shooting weapons. So Ricochet probably won't be as competitive as Griff Ball is, but if you kind of know the idea of taking the ball and running towards your opponent's goal to score, kind of that thing going on.
Right.
In theory, you could make a game type that is just hammers and swords with Ricochet, and that would be, Griff Ball meets some weird variant of itself. I don't know.
Well, the big difference here is that you can actually throw the ball into the goal.
Yeah.
You don't have to walk it in. Of course, Ricochet is meant for having normal Halo weapons out on the map, so your standard Infinity loadouts, you'd probably get the call out, the ordnance drops as well. So it's kind of trying to mix both of those aspects together. I think it's a pretty cool concept, though. I like the idea of Ricochet. I'm can't wait to get my hands on it. It is going to be playable at San Diego Comic-Con, so I'm kind of pissed I'm not being able to go. But it definitely looks awesome. And being on the pit, having the goals in the pit area, that's going to be something that's really going to change the game up a little bit. Maybe bring some longevity back into the game. So we'll see what happens. The other map that they introduced on or throughout the weekend was Vertigo. So it's a new map, completely new. The guys at Certain Affinity were the minds behind creating this one. This one has an interesting, a few little tricks up its sleeve.
Oh yes.
As far as kind of switches are concerned, we do have environment changes. Britton, you want to kind of go into the interesting new aspects that Vertigo brings to the playing field of Halo?
Yeah, so they were talking about, kind of looking back at Zanzibar, and I mean, definitely this map has a very Zanzibar-esque feel to it as far as the color scheme, palm trees everywhere, stuff like that, a big electric generator. At first, when I saw the map, I thought it was maybe a spiritual remake of Zanzibar, possibly, but they said that that's not the case. But they did say that if you remember back to Zanzibar, there was the little, what would you call that, kind of like a catwalk that you could knock the beam support out. I mean, anybody who played Zanzibar remembers this. You knock the beam support out, and the catwalk would fall down, and you hear this big, and then a clap. And they said that
the wheel bridge or something. Yeah.
Yeah. And people enjoyed that aspect because it was an interactive part of the map. And as Dusty and I have said on other podcasts, like, we want more interactive things in maps. Buttons you can push to activate gates, or some sort of other weird thing happening on the map. And that's what they're doing here. So on each team's base, there are these kind of conductors, like these giant metal kind of capacitors that are just overloaded with electric energy. And if you shoot those a few times, a sound goes off, an alarm. You got about like 2 seconds to get away. And if you don't get away, like, your entire base area gets flooded with electricity, and everybody's shields drop, like, immediately. And once their shields drop, you can just go to town and get kills. That's at both bases, and they recharge in 2-minute intervals. So after you do that, you can do it again in 2 minutes. So that's kind of cool. We haven't seen anything like that in Halo 4 that I can think of, or even Halo Reach for that matter. So I thought that was pretty neat that they're adding a cool interactive element into the map.
Yeah, I like seeing that back in the game. Hopefully that's a cue for some things coming to Halo 5 for some multiplayer maps, maybe?
Yeah. This is probably a testing ground for that, to see, maybe this might end up being unbalanced for one team. That was what I was kind of worried about, because it is an asymmetrical map. And it's possible that one team, is at a significant disadvantage as far as the electric effect and, the ability to get away from that in time. But we'll have to see. I mean, I haven't played the game, obviously. The map, so.
Right.
We'll see.
So as far as Vertigo and Pitfall goes, those are the two maps coming in the Bullseye map pack, and of course with the accompanying game type Ricochet. So that game type, though, is only going to be available to people that have the Bullseye map pack for the first 2 weeks, and then it'll be released to everyone across the board, even if you don't have the map pack. So it'll be incorporated into the other maps as well. Trying to think of some other maps that it might be good on. Longbow is a possibility. Adrift would be technically possible, although I don't know how fun it would be. Let's see, what else is there? Haven, sure. I wouldn't do.
I've got the feeling that we're going to see some really, really cool forged Ricochet maps.
It's possible.
No, I mean, I totally expect it. Like, people are going to make maps specifically for Ricochet.
Yeah. It will happen. Yeah, I'm thinking about it now. It's going to happen, essentially.
Griffball Hub did announce that they have registered the domain for Ricochet Hub, so
they did.
Look out for that in the future.
We'll see. There's also, I'm just thinking through some other maps right now. Monolith might be a good one.
Yeah.
Depending on like where you have the bases spawn, you could have like a long throw into one of the bases and just have like a downtown throw essentially. So that might be interesting.
Skyline, maybe. I don't know.
No. What was the other Majestic map? There was Skyline, Monolith, and
The other one with the Banshee that they took out.
Daybreak.
Yeah.
No, that was in that was in the most recent one. That was in Castle.
Oh yeah, that was Majestic.
What was the other small one? Dang it. Gosh, I'm failing as a Halo nerd / podcaster right now.
I know. Generally, we get our Twitch chat to do this for us. They are our brains, basically. Our memory core.
I should be shot right now.
Oh, man. Well, there are a bunch of maps and a bunch of map packs. It's hard to remember which one went into which.
Oh, it's that one. Landshore? No, it was Skyfall and Land...
Land Monkey.
No, because it was Skyfall. So it was Skyline and Landfall. Landfall, that was it.
Landfall.
You couldn't do it on Landfall.
Right,
you couldn't do it on Landfall.
No, they're going to have to forge some really good maps.
Yeah. So the Bullseye map pack, that's the first item in the Halo 4 Championship bundle. Next up is the Steel Skins weapon pack. So this is some these are some pretty cool skins. I have to say these are I'm honestly these are better than the ones at launch, in my opinion.
Oh, definitely.
They have skins for all the starting loadout weapons, for every class of weapon. So they have the UNSC skins, they have Promethean skins, and they have Covenant skins. And these look pretty cool. These skins kind of remind me of the Golden Desert Eagle from Call of Duty.
Yeah, these are very steampunk-esque.
Yes.
You can definitely see a lot of kind of bolts shot onto places that they don't necessarily need to be just for decorative effect.
Right.
A lot of brass, gold style plating. They do look a lot better than the original weapon skins. I was extremely disappointed with the weapon skin selection in Halo 4. They just didn't look. When they said weapon skins initially, I thought that we were going to get a whole bunch of them. You know, I mean, more customization's always better in a Halo game. And they were awful. They don't look good, but these look really, really good. Like, if I had to build a toy battle rifle, for a Spartan costume, if I were to cosplay or join the 405th, I would definitely probably pick the battle rifle steampunk aesthetic thing. That looks really, really nice to me. Just this entire skin pack looks really, really good.
Yeah. I'm personally excited for it. A couple things to note on the previous stuff that we talked about that I forgot to mention. If you're watching on the live stream, I'm actually putting up some pictures, trying something a little bit new and actually making it a little bit more non-static on the stream image. Definitely got to work on it a little bit. But there is a specific Ricochet armor that comes with the map pack. And there are certain elements in here. So the Champions bundle is actually comprised of 4 different things, 3 of which you can actually buy individually if you don't want to buy all the stuff together. So I'll just run down the list real quick. There's the Bullseye pack, which includes Vertigo, Pitfall, the 2 maps, the Ricochet game type, and the Ricochet armor.
And the Ricochet armor looks like, they even said in the panel, it is based off an American football uniform. It really does look like
American
football
It looks
uniform.
like a football helmet, looks like the football pads and everything.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty cool looking. Right. I know that every time I play Ricochet, I'm going to be in that armor. I mean, at least the helmet.
Change the armor very quick before the game. Then there is the Steel Skin pack, which we just talked about. And then there is the Infinity Armor pack. And we'll get to that one in a second. We struggled last time on the podcast talking about the scoring for Ricochet. It is in the bulletin. It's 50 points for a walk-in and then 20 points for a throw. So, just clarifying that from the last podcast.
Sweet.
Back to the Infinity Armor.
Yep.
So, I'm liking this one. Because it has, 1, the Mark V armor. 2, the ODST armor. And then 3, what's the Promethean one called? The Prefect armor. these armors are cool. Like the default set of armors, I'd said on the podcast before when they first were showing them, they didn't really tickle my inner Halo nerd that much at all. But these, it's like, oh my gosh, these look so cool. I want them now.
Who's been tickling your inner Halo nerd? What generally tickles it?
I refuse to answer that question. I played the 5th.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I like the Prefect armor pretty good. Don't like the helmet, but the rest of it's great. ODST armor, like, I understand why that's there. It's real popular, but, I mean, the entire point of being a Spartan is that you're not an ODST. Like, you're one step above. Like, you're a badass. I mean, they take ODSTs out of service to turn them into Spartan 4s. That's like an upgrade or a promotion. The Mark V armor just need to be there to begin with anyway, because I mean it's the Mark V armor.
It's the Mark V.
Yeah, that needs to be there. I mean, I'm glad that's coming. So
I'll still rock the Mark VI when these come out.
Yeah.
I mean, the Mark V is definitely nice to have, but I'm definitely going to keep on rocking the Mark VI.
Oh yeah. I'll probably wear the Prefect armor minus the helmet. And then maybe a Mark V helmet. I don't know, just to make it look weird.
Already?
Or no. The Prefect armor and the Ricochet helmet. Yeah, I got it.
Oh,
it's gonna be great.
Wow. So you're like a linebacker in that.
Yeah, I'm gonna look great. It's gonna be awesome.
Oh boy.
Yes,
that's going to be interesting to just. Wow, that's going to be an interesting look. But yeah, the Infinity Armor pack, that looks sweet. I am pumped for this pack. I am so ready to have this pack. April 20th or August 20th cannot come fast enough.
Yes, but we need to get to the bonus content. If you buy the entire Halo 4 Champions bundle, which is the Still Skin pack, the Infinity Armor pack, and the Bullseye pack. If you get all three of those in the bundle, you have to buy the bundle itself, I'm pretty sure. You can't just buy them all individually and then get this.
Correct.
You have to buy the bundle. If you do that, you will get 5 new weapon skins. You'll get the Assault Rifle Trauma TRM, which looks like an assault rifle with a big blood splat on it.
Kind of reminds you of Gears a little bit.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you could tell it is a Gears of War reference.
Yeah.
Then the Assault Rifle Teeth TTH. So if you remember...
The flamethrower.
Yes. On the front, they got the shark. It's basically that shark picture on your assault rifle.
Yep.
That is awesome looking. Like, if I carry around an assault rifle at all, which I usually don't in my loadouts, but if I did, I would use that one.
I would totally use that one.
Yes. Then a battle rifle skin, the Salvage SLV. It's kind of got a jungle camo look to it. It's not that great, personally, in my opinion. But if you like jungle
it's all
camo...
right. It's all right.
Yeah. If you like jungle camo, it looks cool. For the Magnum, they got the Indigo IND. It's just kind of a blue armor coating with some black stripes on it.
I think those last 3 letters are just abbreviations, by the way.
Yeah, I could tell that. And then the Magnum Flare.
Just saying.
Well, I mean, I don't understand. Like, why would you put the abbreviation like after the actual name? It didn't make any sense to me. So the Magnum Flare, which is probably the least interesting weapon skin, is just kind of yellow stripes on your Magnum. But yeah, the Assault Rifle Teeth skin is probably my favorite out of those 5.
The Trauma one looks pretty cool, too.
Yeah, but I'm not a real big Gears fan.
Right.
I mean, the point of Halo is that, like, the blood spatter is kind of very limited. Like, the only time you see it really is from aliens. The point of the Spartan armor being that it kind of keeps all the blood in. So it's not like Gears of War where you're chainsawing people in half and actually getting blood splat up into your face. You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, you get that. More importantly, for me, I like having different stances for my Spartan, but I don't have many stances in Halo 4. If you get the championship bundle, you will get 8 new stances for your player card. One's called Seasoned, which is a Spartan kind of holding his pistol down and leaning back. Then you got Menace, which is your Spartan. He's got his fist inside of his other hand, ready to, crack some knuckles. He's going to go bust some heads in.
Yep.
Then you've got loyalty, which is where your Spartan is at attention. He's saluting his superior officer. Then you got lookout, which is Spartan. He's kind of got one knee up, looking out over the horizon, and he's got his assault rifle or BR or whatever, kind of sitting up on his knee. Then
it's like in the movies, if you ever see someone like coming up a hill and there's a rock there, and they put their leg up and they're just their weapons down and they're looking over like a valley or something. That's kind of what it looks like.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. Then they got the confident stance, which is just your Spartan standing there with his arms crossed.
Mm-hmm.
Then they got drawn, which is probably one of my favorites. I'm probably going to use this one, which is your Spartan, like, he's at stance and then he's holding his gun out, James Bond style, like, towards the camera, in a little bit to the left. That's pretty cool. Then you got...
I have to stop you here for a second. Pins Halo just posted this. Reminds me of the Flying Tigers logo. Master Chief has got a bit of captain in him in that post.
Oh, yeah, he's the Cap Morgan post. That's pretty funny, and it's pretty true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was funny. Continue.
Funny. It's
Continue.
hilarious. Then they got the flank stance, which is a Spartan kind of at stance. If you've ever seen it kind of looks like he's getting ready to assassinate somebody.
Yeah.
He's kind of like got his arm out, and then his other arm has a knife. He's just getting ready to assassinate somebody. And then they got grandstand, which is Spartan kind of holding his rifle up. It looks like he's kind of admiring his own rifle.
Yeah. Or he's like holding his rifle up and looking at something that he just killed. It's like, yeah. I just did that,
baby.
These are all pretty cool though.
Yeah, I mean, out of all these, my favorite are probably Drawn and Loyalty.
If I had to change from my current assassination one, it would probably go to Lookout.
Yep. Lookout is pretty cool. It's just so unlike the other stances, It's these are a lot different. We needed stances, just kind of change up what our lobbies look like.
I'm almost thinking about like just changing my stance based on my mood.
Yeah.
Really. Because you could totally change your stance based on your previous game, and be like, you could do Menace. Okay, I am pissed off. I want to bust some heads in, or Lookout. Yeah, I'm chill. I'm doing all right. Loyalty is like, or take, I guess, Drawn for example. It's like you have a vendetta out for somebody that's in your party. You wanna hold Drawn out or something. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
It's too bad you can't do these stances like in game for machinima purposes. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah. No, that would be sweet. Or have some sort of like slash dance function where you can like pick different dances. You get different dances for your Spartan, and I mean, think of it. It could be like the new teabagging. Like, you kill somebody, you go. I mean, they do animations for assassinations. I don't see why you couldn't, take a second and dance.
Yeah, that's true. Shut up and dance!
Woo!
Woo!
Then 5 new armor skins. They don't show the armor skins here, so I don't know what they look like, but they name them Tracer, Column, Python, Bayonet, and Solid. So you'll get those new armor skins in addition to the Infinity armor pack and the Ricochet armor. Right. And then you'll get what is probably the most controversial thing in the pack, the Resistor Tactical Package. And it says the Champions Bundle will include a sneak peek to the Resistor armor mod, which allows players to retain full mobility despite taking fire for a few moments. The armor mod will eventually be made to all players in Halo 4 matchmaking free of charge. So basically, if you buy the bundle, you get the Resistor armor mod before everybody else does, and that's where you won't kind of, flinch out when you're getting shot. You'll actually be able to keep running at full speed while you're being shot at.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that, really. I couldn't tell you either way. I'm just going to have to see.
I'm assuming these fall under tactical mods, because it's a tactical package.
Yeah. Yeah, this
so
is
what's my current tactical package? Or tactical...
Generally, I stick with dexterity and shielding.
I think mine's dexterity.
Yeah, so if it's dexterity, I'm going to... I don't remember which one is which, so... If I have to get rid of dexterity to put in resistor...
I don't think I'd change.
I'll have to see how powerful it is. But right now, I
Yeah.
really like dexterity. I like the ability to switch weapons out fast and reload faster.
Um. Yeah. It and this one specifically just kind of adds on to the controversy of having sprint in the game or not in the game. Personally, in my opinion, I don't mind it that much. I think if you're a Spartan, I mean you're a freaking Spartan, you should be able to sprint.
Right.
I honestly think it's just an evolution of the game. I think sprint is one of the elements. Yeah, people don't like it, but people are typically resistant to change. I think sprint is just one of the evolutions that Halo is going to go through. I think it's a okay one in my book. I know there's a lot of people out there that would disagree, but in my opinion, sprint is okay. It's a jetpack is a lot worse, but
Well,
I
I mean,
think sprint is fine.
there's other ways to even balance out sprint without completely taking it out of the game. You can shorten the duration of sprint. You can, decrease the speed that sprint increases. You know what I'm saying. Just there are ways to tweak that without just completely removing it. And like you were saying, it kind of goes against what I said earlier, which was that you should always put gameplay fun before realism and trying to make your game like real life. But I mean, the
Yeah,
thing is, Spartans, they're Spartans. They're able to just pick up and haul. That's part of being a Spartan is speed. And personally, playing the game, sprint doesn't break the game for me. It doesn't really change it that much because everybody has it. Everybody has that available to them. I know that every single person playing has sprint, which is unlike the armor mods and the armor abilities, which is, I really don't know what you have until you use it on me. Yeah, except for like jetpack.
right.
Uh, yeah,
I think
yeah, I'm fine with sprint, but I understand some people just don't like it.
I think for more veteran players and competitive players, sprint is a big deal because it's something that is definitely a big change for the game. It's definitely going to change the way people play the pit because of being able to run out of certain situations where before you can't. So the pit is kind of a completely different game now. I don't know how much sprint is going to change it, let alone jetpack.
You changed the game, brother.
Jetpack is a huge change.
Yep.
So I don't think we'll see much jetpack in there though. At least in the playlist where that map is going to be introduced into.
Yep. Ricochet all day long.
Yep.
Can you imagine jetpacking up and then tossing the ball to somebody? That's gonna be fun.
That would be interesting. As far as being able to get the ball across the goal, like you can, like if you've played oddball in Halo 3, like on the pit, you can throw the ball over, or you could throw grenades over. So with the similar trajectory for the oddball in Halo 4, you could probably throw the oddball over the pit. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see some people kind of go grab the ball for Ricochet, take it back to their base, and then line up a shot to throw it just needle thread it into the goal. I can see that happening quite a bit.
You're gonna see some montage reels of people making long shots with the Ricochet ball. I mean, I don't know the range on that thing yet, but basketball style, full court shots, and then you make it crazy stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you're gonna see a lot of cool new montage reels come out of Ricochet.
It's gonna be fun.
It is. This Resistor armor mod is not the only armor mod coming in a new update that will come out, I guess, at the same time the Champions bundle will.
Day before, actually.
Day before?
Yeah.
Okay, yep. They'll be releasing 2 additional armor mods free of charge. Those 2 mods are Survivor, which ejects you out of a vehicle if it's about to explode, and Recharge, which decreases the time it takes for your shields to recharge. So Survivor, you're driving around, your vehicle's about to pop, and if it does, no, it ejects you before it explodes. I think. I don't understand how that works.
I'm not exactly sure how it's going to work. I wonder if it's going to, if it will halt the explosion and wait for you to get out of the vehicle.
Yeah, and what's that going to look like? So, I mean, is it just going to be like you automatically just kind of hop out of the car, or is it actually going to be like ejector seat style, like you shoot up into the air?
No, it's probably going to be the typical, like, as if you were holding X to get out of the car.
That's what I figure. I mean, I could do that without this mod, so that doesn't seem like that's going to be a big game breaker. Generally, the vehicle-based mods aren't used very often, and they really can't be abused.
I see them a lot in Big Team.
Well, yeah, but I mean that then you have to have somebody with wheelman, and then you have to have somebody with operator. I mean, you can have both on at the same time, but you have to have at least two people. The operator has to drive, and then the wheelman has no. Now I'm confused.
It's I forget which ones. I forget which ones it is too.
Yeah, no, it's
there's one of them that has the vehicle health regen.
Is it Pathfinder?
No.
Yeah, the one that makes you drive and have a higher vehicle health and
I don't think it was Pathfinder.
And then the one that makes your turret shoot. I mean, it doesn't overheat as fast.
It doesn't overheat as quickly. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
I think the cooldown is faster too. Maybe.
Right. No, you're right.
But anyway,
you're right.
Yeah, Survivor, great. Recharge is the one that will probably make a difference. It decreases the time it takes for your shields to recharge. Now, I was reading this at first, and I'm like, how is that different from shielding? Well, the difference is shielding decreases the time it takes for your shields to start recharging afterwards. So basically, if you get shot and your shields are out, if you have shielding, it might take like 2 or 3 seconds faster for your shields to start recharging, but they don't recharge any faster. This, you'll still have to wait the same amount of default time for the shields to start recharging, but when they actually do start recharging, it goes faster. So, I might actually switch from shielding to recharge, personally.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on recharge?
I'm gonna have to see how it fits in with the game, because I having the delay not be changed, that I'm sure that was a big kind of cautionary thing for a lot of people, and it's good to see that that's not changing. I want to say that having the decreased time for the shield recharge isn't going to have too much of an effect, but I know there are times when in battles, like, I get around a corner and someone's shields is just starting to recharge, and maybe having this on there makes it to where I have to fire another BR shot before I can get them out, and they can somehow take me out first. So, a little hesitant on this one. I don't think it's going to make too huge of a difference in general gameplay, but it's definitely something that's not going to be included in competitive Halo.
Yep.
I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Or maybe, it could be. It could be something that would be implemented basically across the board for everybody.
Yes.
Possibly. I don't know. We'll see.
It says they'll have more information about the mods at San Diego Comic-Con. So if you're at SDCC,
you're lucky.
Then, oh yes, you lucky person.
Yes.
Go to the Xbox. Yes, go to the Xbox Gaming Lounge and just play as much Halo as you can. Now I assume that they'll have the maps there too.
Yeah, the maps are going to be playable at San Diego Comic-Con. Yep, the maps are going to be playable. The new game types are going to be playable. I'm assuming like the weapon skins and stances are going to be like people are going to be able to mess around with those. So yeah, that's all going to be at San Diego Comic-Con. Lucky.
Yeah. They would kick me out of the Xbox Gaming Lounge because I would just want to play Ricochet like the whole time. Oh,
that would be interesting.
That's pretty sad that I've got all this envy right after I came out of, one of the most fun conferences of the entire year. I mean,
see, it's addicting.
Oh, I know. I mean, I went to RTX and I'm like, I need more.
Yeah.
More conventions, more expositions, more.
All right.
Yes.
So that concludes kind of all the stuff for the championship bundle. They said this was going for 800 Microsoft points, right? What did they say at the panel?
I really don't remember. I wasn't listening to price. I was looking at all the cool stuff they were showing off. Like, I was too busy, like, oohing and awing at the weapon
maybe it was
skins.
1,200 points.
I'm looking right now to see if I can find anything. I think they may have said that they're announcing price later. I don't know. I really couldn't tell you.
They mentioned some kind of price during the panel.
$10 would be my guess. 800 Microsoft points, but it's very possible it could be 1,200 points because this seems like something. Well, yeah.
With all the stuff they have in here, yeah. It may have been something where they said that it was going to be 1,200 for the full pack or the bundle, and then it was like maybe 800 for the map pack.
Yeah, I don't want to speak with any authority
the Bullseye
here, though.
Pack?
Like, the Bullseye pack, if I had to guess, probably 400 Microsoft points. The Still Skin pack and the armor pack, the Infinity Armor pack. You would think, being very small pieces of DLC, compared to maps, they would be 200 apiece. So if they're both 200 apiece, and then the maps were 400, I could see it at 800, but I'm not sure. 800 is going to be my guess, though.
I'm trying to look it up right now, see if I can find it anywhere. But yeah, okay, so I was right. The championship bundle is going to be on August 20th for 800 Microsoft points.
Bullseye.
Yep.
Get it?
You're right. Purchased separately, Pitfall and Vertigo maps can be bought at 480 Microsoft points. And then the reskin sets will cost an additional 240 Microsoft points per set. So the steel weapon skins are going to be 240 points, and then the armors. The armor with the Infinity Armor pack with the skins are going to be an additional 240. So, of course, you want to go with the bundle.
Yeah, I mean...
If you're going to buy this.
Unless you're just really uninterested in everything else, except for, like, one single portion. And I don't understand why you would be. The bundle is definitely the best value, because not only is it cheaper altogether, but you also get a whole bunch more stuff.
Yeah.
So...
Definitely go for the bundle, though, if you can. And, of course, it comes out August 20th.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Moving on to some other things in the bulletin. Some more information about the Halo 4 Global Championship. So we talked a little bit last week about how the scoring system is going to work throughout the 5 weeks of competition. Remember, if you have not signed up yet, you need to go sign up in order to be entered in for the championship. Of course, there is a link in the bulletin for that. So you can go register. You have to put in your name, gamer tag, you have to sign into your Microsoft account, do all that stuff. They expanded a little bit on how the point systems and tiebreaks is going to work. They said that in the event of if two players are tied within the same average at the end of the week, so like say multiple people have won every game and they have a total of 8 points average, then the tiebreakers are as follows: most games played, most first place finishes, most kills, fewest deaths, most assists, fewest quits, earliest date and time of first qualifying game played, earliest date and time of tournament registration. So that's like getting down to the nitty gritty.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it's going to get really past maybe the first 5. I think we get the most assists, maybe fewest quits, and that's it. If they're going back down as far as to getting the earliest date and time of first qualifying game played, or the time that you register for the tournament, that's ridiculous. So that's how tiebreakers are going to be resolved for the tournament. So a little bit information on that. It's really nice to see cleared up. There's some couple other little details in here. Game types for the first 4 week of competition, of course, will be or for the first week. Sorry, not the first 4 weeks. For the first week is Infinity Rumble. Has some slight tweaks for tournament gameplay. It's going to be 250 points to win for score. Time limit is going to be 12 minutes. Kills are worth 10 points, so 25 kills to win. Loadout usage is personal loadouts, so it's whatever you have in your loadouts that you can use. Initial ordnance is enabled, random ordnance disabled. For the you do have customized personal ordnance for the call-in ordnance. The left possibility is frag grenade, middle possibility is plasma, right possibility is pulse grenade, and then you have the motion tracker, which of course is enabled. The game test will be played on Haven, Solace, Adrift, Abandoned, Landfall, Monolith, and Skyline. So all the small type maps are going to be available when you're playing in this playlist. They did say that the Rumble Pit playlist is going to be the one that's going to be consumed for the tournament. So Rumble Pit is going to go bye-bye, and then all the playlists for the tournament stuff is going to be replacing that playlist. So there's a couple other little things in here about the tournament. There will be no map voting in the playlist. Once you search and find a map will be auto-selected, and a 3-second countdown will begin. So there's no voting.
This is not a democracy. This is a tournament.
Yeah, so you're stuck with the map that it picks for you.
Yep.
So because you don't have, you're not picking the map either, you cannot back out. There is no backing out of the game. Any attempts to back out, like if you dashboard or disconnect your internet, it counts as a quit against you. So once you go in, make sure you go in and you're committed to it, even if you don't get the map that you want. If you disconnect at any point, it counts as a quit.
Yeah. Just imagine that you're at a real tournament. Like, if you just got up and left, you would be disqualified. Like, just don't do it. Play as if you are in a tournament because you are actually playing in a tournament.
Yep. After every game, you actually get automatically bumped out into the War Games lobby. So it's not, you don't go back into another, searching cycle. So after every game, you get dropped out immediately to the War Games menu, and you can still review your stats and stuff. So that's nice to see. I wish they actually did that for some other playlists that are currently there, or at least widen the window that the research is started. So that would be nice. Of course, no joining in progress during the tournament, and the max party size is 1, so no going in as a party and playing.
I mean, you can obviously see how that would be exploited.
Yeah. You can't do that.
Yeah.
It says also here that each week's winners is going to undergo a full account and gameplay history investigation. So they're not going to be announcing the official winners initially after each week, but they're going to closely examine game history, making sure that you haven't stat padded or modded in any funky way. Look at your gaming habits for Halo, and then a few days afterwards, if you check out, then you'll be announced as winners. And of course, we're going to try to follow these on a weekly basis as close as we can for you guys. So we will keep you up to date. Legendary Slayer is also another game type that 343 has been talking about a little bit, and it's something that's coming to fruition. They announced that they were working on it at RTX, and they're still tweaking it. It's almost here. It's almost ready to hit matchmaking. I'm assuming it'll probably be out within the next month or so. Maybe even sooner than that, maybe within a matter of weeks instead. But they have those settings listed for Legendary Slayer, and it's going to be 4v4, default starting weapon is assault rifle, no armor abilities, motion tracker is enabled, all weapons and grenade are located on the map initially, no initial random or personal ordnance, so kind of classic style Halo. Like classic style Halo, where we're going back to Halo 1, you start with the assault rifle. Not a BR, not a DMR, not a precision weapon, you start with an assault rifle.
Yes. All Fox, no items, final destination.
Yeah.
That was a Super Smash Bros. Reference. Because that is literally the most generic, balanced possible
Is it
game
really?
type. Yeah, but it's also like the lamest possible game type you could play. Because final destination is just like a flat surface. No items means that, I mean, it's Smash Bros. Like, you want to be able to play with items, and then everybody's playing as Fox. Well, that's no fun.
Yeah. I personally like Pikachu, but that's just me. The singular loadout for Legendary Slayer is, of course, assault rifle, no secondary weapon, no armor ability, 2 frag grenades, explosives support upgrade, and the tactical package is going to be resupply. And that is set in stone. You cannot have personal ordnance, personal loadout, you cannot have custom loadout, none of that stuff. So that is what you get. and then the maps are going to be on the map at start, not delivered via ordnance. They just respawn like they have in Classic Halo. The maps that are going to be used for Legendary Slayer are Haven, Solace, Adrift, Abandon, Landfall, Monolith, Skyline, and Shutout. So that is the Legendary Slayer that is going to be coming very, 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 very soon. They still haven't set a date yet, but it's coming very, very soon. And, of course, last on the bulletin, 343 is going to be at San Diego Comic-Con 2013. I wish I could go. I really wish I could go. They're going to be showing off Halo Spartan Assault, as well as the Halo 4 Champions Bundle, where it will be playable in the Xbox Gaming Lounge, where you can play on Pitfall and Vertigo and play on the new game type Ricochet. So I will envy you all that are going to San Diego Comic-Con.
Grr. Yeah, me too. You get to hang out with all the cool Pokemon fans.
Grr.
Well, I mean, as cool as a Pokemon fan can get.
They also have a panel that they're going to be having at San Diego Comic-Con. Going to be talking about some of the backstory and fiction of Halo Spartan Assault. The panel title for that is Inside the Looking Glass, Building Halo Worlds and Wonders, Past, Present, and Future. It's in room 6BCF in the San Diego Convention Center. It's going to be on Thursday, July 18th from 11:45 a.m. to 12:45 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. So if you're there, go enjoy the panel. If not, then they'll obviously have the information that they talk about there in the following week's bulletin.
Is it true that San Diego Comic-Con just smells disgusting? Just like this massive body odor all in one little convention center?
I don't know. I've never been there.
Like, I always wondered about that, because I was like, the thing you always hear about...
Why is that?
Well, I'll get to it. I'm going to tell my story.
Okay.
I'd always heard that at conventions, like, I mean, this was back in the day, too. I mean, not back in the day, but like 10 years ago.
Back in my day.
Back in the day. You know, like, they would talk about how people, you had these, like, smelly nerds walking around that didn't know how to use deodorant or shower. And, I mean, these comments were coming from people that I actually, like, trusted to tell the truth about that kind of stuff. Like, and I could understand, like, you get a whole bunch of people who don't use deodorant or shower all in one place. It probably doesn't smell very good. And I was at RTX, and it didn't smell that bad. Like, everybody showered, I guess. And, I mean, I use deodorant and showered every day. So, I mean, it smelled all right. But I've got to wonder, like, is SDCC, like, a different kind of nerd that was, like, just completely adverse to the idea of cleaning themselves?
I will say this. When I was at New York Comic Con last year, compared to PAX, there's a lot more cosplay.
Oh yeah, I want to go. Hell yes.
So it might be the cosplayers because of that. And of course, I mean, you cosplaying, you have some heavy costumes, you have some thick costumes, so people are like sweating.
Yeah, I got you.
I mean, I felt for the people walking around in the Spartan armors from the 405th Source walking around RTX.
Yeah. I might tell one more story from that. I mean, it's a real short story. It's not interesting, but at the very end, after your podcasting panel, we were walking out, and this guy in this really cool, I think it was Venator armor, but it was yellow striped. It was really sweet. It's cool looking. You can see pictures of it on rtxevent.com. I'm sure he's up on a whole bunch of pictures. But I'm standing there in the hallway, kind of around the meeting rooms where they're having the panels. And just all of a sudden, like, I hear this clomping, and I turn. I see this Spartan in, like, full armor running straight at me. Like, I just kind of, like, got out of the way. It did kind of like a Spike from Cowboy Bebop style. Just, you know, turn around, let them run past you that way. Like, it was nuts, though. I thought I was going to get tackled and assassinated.
That's funny.
Oh, man, that was funny. It was cool. I mean, that's awesome. Like, I mean, if somebody's going to run at me, I want them to run at me in Spartan armor. Like,
nice.
that was pretty awesome. But yeah,
nice.
The cosplay, there wasn't a whole lot of cosplay up at RTX. I mean, it was there, but I only saw maybe like 8 or 9 cosplayers.
It was mostly
max.
the 405th guys and then Ruby.
Yeah.
Ruby cosplayers.
Yeah, there were a bunch of Ruby cosplayers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see, who else? I saw a dude in a Deadpool cosplay.
Oh,
but, like,
yeah.
He had the Deadpool suit, but then on the outside he was wearing like a normal like button-down T-shirt and jeans. It was pretty funny. I shot that dude with business guns.
There's a Slenderman.
I didn't see that.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
I saw him. There was an Assassin's Creed guy playing Griffball at one point.
Yeah, I saw a couple assassins walking around.
Yep.
I saw a Gears of War armor girl. I mean, a cog.
Really?
There was a girl up there in a full cog armor suit. That was cool.
I think I missed that one.
A lot of Call of Duty cosplay, which was weird to me because
really,
Call of Duty is like modern military, and they were just basically in modern military adornment. You know, they had their camo and their fatigues and like radios around their head and fake assault rifles and stuff like that. It was kind of strange. Like, I mean, I understand if you're really into Call of Duty, like, yeah, I mean, but it's just odd because generally cosplaying is about dressing up as a character that is completely surreal. Like, you would never see anybody dress like that in real life ever. And it was weird. Trying to think of some other cosplayers up at RTX. Because I love cosplay. Like, I've even wanted to cosplay before. Like, I always thought if I go to a convention, you might as well get the full con experience. The problem is, I'm not a seamstress. Like, I don't know how to make costumes and stuff like that, so I would have to buy one, which is automatically, a lot of those cosplayers take pride in the fact that they make their own costumes.
I want to make my own Spartan outfit.
Oh,
I really do.
I just don't even know where I would start. Like, I realize there's places you can go.
For a fifth source, that's
right.
that's where you go to start. That's
right.
They have the resources there.
Yeah, I don't have the resources, like, financially. I have no funds.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah, it'd be good to go up to one of those cons that have a lot of cosplayers, because that always interests me. That's a cool part of the con scene. What were we talking about before I went off on my crazy tangent?
We were talking about San Diego Comic-Con.
Oh yeah, so it wasn't a real tangent.
Not quite.
San Diego Comic-Con is odd because it is an amalgamation of just about every nerd culture possible. Like, you got PAX, that's gaming, in general. General gaming and tabletop gaming. And then you've got something like RTX, which is gaming, more Xbox based, honestly. I mean, let's be honest, this is a Rooster Teeth community. But I mean, there's other people up there. I saw a lot of Pokemon fans. But that's more kind of internet communities that game. And then you got all of the different anime conventions they have. All the different comic conventions they have. They don't have a whole lot of those anymore. But then you got San Diego Comic Con, which was initially an actual comic book convention, but now it's been co-opted by television and movies and video games and anime fans and Japanese culture fans, and just every single nerd culture under the it's nuts, and that's why it's so big.
I'm trying to think, based on my experience from New York Comic Con and then PAX, I guess the Comic Cons are actually bigger in terms of attendance.
Oh, it is. I mean, I think it's the largest convention in the United States. I mean, as far as
there is E3.
Well,
E3
to me,
is pretty big. I guess it's more professional than it is like fan, and
that is a media event, in my opinion. Now, there was a time it went back when it was open to the public. You might be able to call it a convention, but to me, a convention is a very fan-based, community-based thing, whereas E3 nowadays is it's a 3-day advertising campaign. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, it's not that there's anything wrong with that. I love E3, but I don't watch E3 because, it's a fun event. I mean, from what I've heard, going to E3 is not an especially fun thing, especially if you actually have to work while you're doing it, write up stuff and get all that information out there real fast.
It's a lot more for industry than it is for fans.
Let me see Comic-Con's attendance last year, because I know it was insane. San Diego Comic-Con International. It is the largest in the U.S. See. open it. The attendance for last year's San Diego Comic-Con was 130,000 plus. So
Whoa.
that's a lot of folks.
Well, I know PAX Prime, which is the big one, is 70,000.
Yeah. So PAX is getting there. I think at some point you could probably see PAX, if it continues to grow in popularity, and I don't see why it wouldn't. It could overshadow
Well, I mean,
San Diego Comic-Con.
for PAX Prime, they can't because they're limited by Fire Code on how many passes they can hand out for PAX Prime because they have that like 10-year contract with Seattle Convention Center, so they can't.
So does the contract specify that they can't get a second convention center?
Well,
I
they
mean,
can only rent out so much. I mean, they've rented out the whole convention center. There's no more room.
I mean, there isn't another like event center in Seattle that they could go to. Like I don't know.
Not in the immediate area. No, not. I mean, it's the convention center. You don't have multiple convention centers in the city. You have one convention center, and that's it.
Well, I'm saying the reason you do that is because, I mean, generally you don't have large enough crowds to justify getting two convention centers. I'm just saying if it gets that large to where you can't let people in because, you know, Fire Code says you can't, it would make sense to, you know, buy another venue that people could also go to. But I see what you're saying. Ideally, you want everything all in one place. And that, I mean, that's the reason they started PAX East, so that they could, you know, if you couldn't get into PAX Prime, there's a good chance you could probably get to PAX East.
Yeah.
Yeah.
PAX East is a lot easier to get into. It does not sell out nearly as quickly.
Like, I think PAX Prime looks fun and all. Like, it's fantastic, and if I ever get the chance to go, I will. But personally, like, I'll probably end up going to PAX East before I go to PAX Prime.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing about PAX Prime is it's in the same city that Microsoft is and 343 is.
Yeah.
So there's always some kind of 343 VIP party.
Yeah, some sort of awesome Halo-related stuff going on. Which I get invited to.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I can see that. But I mean, 343 could also get out to you know, PAX East. I mean, if they're willing to.
No, they've been there, and they've had special parties there. But the fact that the studio is there and they can invite people to the studio, and they can invite a lot more people to the studio and actually have like the special events and things. It's just being a Halo fan. That's PAX Prime and RTX are the two conventions to go to.
Yeah.
And then San Diego Comic-Con would be like a close third.
Like, I just want to play Pokemon. I just want to, like, meet people and have Pokemon battles. That's it. That's
Pokemon! Did you find your Soul Silver?
Not yet. I'm going to look for it. But, okay. I mean, all of my Pokemon are off of it. I mean, it is literally like a blank thing. I think I had to leave, like, a Jigglypuff behind because you had to have one Pokemon on you at all times. That's just the way the game operates.
Yeah.
So some poor Jigglypuff is stuck in the Johto region right now. All of his friends left him behind, and
you could go out and catch another Pokemon, and then trade the Jigglypuff.
Yeah, but I don't want to.
But he's lonely.
The thing is, you can't trade down. Like you can send your Pokemon up into the next generation of games. You can't send them back the other way.
Well, you could for the second gen, the first gen.
Yeah, but the thing is, it has to do with, first of all, they changed the way that Pokemon are identified in the code during one generation. That's where that stuff got all messed up. And then there's the problem with new movesets in new games. Like, in a new game, you know, they might bring out a new move like, you know, Fart Attack or whatever, you know, something stupid. And, you know, give it to a legacy Pokemon like a Cubone or something like Snorlax. You know, Snorlax exists in every single Pokemon game, but there only exists one Snorlax that can learn Fart, because if you send it back to the other game ain't going to recognize Fart as a move because it's not in the code. So that's why I thought there
was something, at least in the, and I know this isn't Halo, guys, I thought there was something in the Ruby and Sapphire games where you could still trade backwards, but if a Pokemon had a move that was not compatible with the previous version, you just couldn't take that Pokemon into the
Yeah,
The
it was
classic trading room.
it was called the Time Machine, and that
Yes.
was in second gen, and I think they just quit like right after second gen when they switched over the code in
See, the first and second gens is where it's at, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean those are the two.
That is the highlight of the Pokemon franchise on the Nintendo handheld.
Yeah, Heart Gold, not Heart Gold. Is it Gold and Silver are the pinnacle, and
Gold,
Heart
Silver, and
Gold and Soul
Crystal.
Silver are a refinement of the pinnacle.
Right.
If you could only play one Pokemon game in your entire life, I would suggest Heart Gold or Soul Silver.
Correct. Yes.
That way you get all, well, not all. I'm not sure if you can catch all of the original 151
You can.
in Gold and Silver or Heart Gold and Soul Silver.
Yeah, I believe so.
Maybe I'm not sure. Yeah,
Yeah, I believe so.
yeah, I think you can. You're right.
You have to have both games. You have to have trade.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's
You
the
have
way
to
it
trade
is
with
yeah.
the like you have to trade from Heart Gold to Soul Silver to get some of them because they do that for every game. But yeah, you should be able to.
Yeah.
I don't know how you get Bulbasaur, Charmander, or Squirtle. I forget how you
Well,
do that and
You trade. I mean, you gotta
trade up.
trade. I mean, that's how I got a lot of the legacy Pokemon.
So
in
you'd
Heart
have to
Gold
trade
Soul Silver.
from Leaf Green and Fire Red up, basically.
Well, no, you go online and trade. I mean, if you go to the Global Trading Center, which they have in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, you can trade with anybody else on the planet. And what I did was
Yeah, but how would those people originally get it on their games?
just
You would basically have to pull it from
Well-
Leaf Green or Soul or
Yeah.
Fire Red, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's how they do it.
You trade up.
Theoretically, there is a way to have all of the Pokemon from your original Red, Green, Blue, Yellow. You trade all of those to the original Gold and Silver or Crystal. Then you have those trade to Ruby and Sapphire. Get all of those and trade into Diamond and Pearl. And then get all of those and trade into Black and White. And you could have had every Pokemon on your Pokedex, but they would each have come from their own respective game. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
You could have the same Pikachu.
You could trade
in
all the way
black.
up as you did on Pokemon Yellow. Yep.
Yep. You could have the same Pikachu that you had in Pokemon Yellow on Pokemon Black today, trading up.
Yeah.
I
you
always
could.
thought that was cool that they were able to do that. Maintain legacy support like that.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but-
we've run off topic a little bit.
Yep. That's we're gonna have to save that one for Poketacular, the official
The Goldenrod
unofficial
Radio.
Pokemon. Yeah, the more I think about that name, the more disgusting it sounds. Like Goldenrod.
Oh,
I'm saying the innuendo.
oh,
You know
Brent.
that you know that perverted minds are thinking that. You know that people got their
I
mind in
honestly
the gutter.
didn't think about
Every
that
time-
until you just said it just now.
Every time I say Goldenrod,
No,
and I mean,
no,
they are going to think that, and it's going to
No.
ruin the experience for me.
No, just because you said that now, that's the only reason why. Like, if you do a Pokemon podcast and you say Goldenrod Radio, the first thing people are going to think about is the city. They're not going to think about your perverted, messed up way of thinking about it.
Yeah, well, maybe, I hope so. But yeah, I don't know. We're real far out into tangent territory here, so
Yeah, we're all out in
bring it in.
left field. Yep. Last thing on the bulletin, screenshot, spotlight of the week, Mark 6.
Mark 6 armor.
My favorite
Yes.
armor. Some pretty cool screenshots.
Yep.
I don't get the ones looking through the glass. Like there's the Resolute and then Stained. I don't get those. But Soldier is a good one. Legacy is a good one. Destruction, that one's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Can I get that as a stance?
Let me see. Oh yeah, that is sweet.
Can I
No,
get that one
like-
as a stance? De Profundus. The first one is pretty cool.
I like John by David 117.
John's a good one.
It's got a real nice kind of.
It's almost like his
light
shields
touch.
are semi-flaring a little bit.
It kind of looks like a painting. Just kind of looking at it from afar, like a.
Yeah, kind of does.
Oh, okay. That's nice. All of these are pretty good. Don't really care for Resolute. I mean,
Yeah, I said I didn't care about it either.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, some pretty good ones.
My personal favorite is Destruction.
Yeah,
I want that as a
one
stance.
looks cool. That stance is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And I mean, you got that sweet, burning backdrop. That's pretty cool. So good job, Skanky. No, it's just Skank.
No, it's Skanky K. Or Scanny K?
I don't know.
Scanny K.
I really couldn't tell you what it is. I mean, I don't know how to pronounce it. We'd have to ask him or her.
SKANYK. There you go. All right.
Alrighty.
We have one submission for the week. Comes from Flying Pineapple. He writes in saying, "Hey, Particular, I've recently been participating in the chat during your live streams. I was wondering if you guys considered checking out my gallery on DeviantArt. You guys run an awesome show, and best of luck at RTX." So this one is a little bit older. We got this one before RTX came out, before the RTX event. So, for those of you with us in the live stream, I have posted it on the in the chat. Some pretty cool stuff. I'll go ahead and include the link in the podcast post. He has a couple of Halo things up there. He has a Particular logo. Let me look at that one real quick. That was pretty cool. Don't know about the grid background, but it looks. I like the helmet. The helmet looks pretty cool. If you could put a little more details on the helmet piece, I'd be willing to use it. I like the audio levels in the visor piece. That's pretty cool. Yeah. If there's one thing I have to pick out about that I like, it would be the visor piece. These are some pretty cool things in here. Wow, that is cool. There's some. Woo. The more and more I look at this, the more and more it looks. Wow, he does. Wait, someone made UNSC flags? Really? Oh wait, I'm in another person's thing now. I accidentally went out of his. He's got some cool stuff in here, though. What do you think, Brent?
Yeah, just cool stuff.
Alrighty. Well, thank you, not Flying Hippo.
Flying Hippo.
Flying Pineapple. I don't know why I want to say Flying Hippo.
No, I'm a Flying Hippo. Can you imagine a flying hippo?
No, not really.
That would be amazing. I want to fly on a flying hippo.
No.
But yeah, Flying Pineapple. This is some really cool stuff.
Yeah, we'll definitely put the link in with the show post.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that wraps it up for the show tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, if you were fortunate enough to go to RTX, hope you guys had a blast. I know I had tons of fun. Shout outs to Rooster Teeth for putting on such a great convention. And shout out to 343 for the Halo 4 Global Championship and the panel that they had at RTX. You guys rock. And we appreciate everything you guys are doing out there. Keep it real. I think it's time for the wrap. We covered everything? We covered everything? Right? Yep. Okay. Cool.
Wait.
Oh.
I've just learned that it is impossible to trade between Generation 2 and Generation 3 of Pokemon. So you can't have your Gen 1 Pikachu. I feel cheated. I feel as if I thought that you could do that.
I
thought you could too, but
no, I remember trading from
you traded from Silver into
I thought so.
Into Gen 3? Into
Ruby and Sapphire? I believe so. Oh wait, no you can't. That's right.
Oh man. Now I feel stupid. That's why I couldn't host a podcast.
Wait. But you can trade in from... Can't you trade into the remakes?
Nope.
You sure?
Pretty sure. I am fairly certain.
We'll have to research that.
Yeah.
Anyways. The interruption for the non-Halo specific stuff. Okay. Thanks again, guys, for surviving our babble about Pokemon. Our slight tangent there for a little bit. And... make sure you check us out on our homepage, podtaggler.com. And while you're at it, feel free to send us a submission. It could be anything related to Halo or Xbox or anything we talk about on the show, whether it be RTX, whether it be the Halo 4 Championship, or any game types, customs, or tales that you may have. anything that's related to Halo and or Xbox or anything we talk about, send it to us via our email address, which is submissions@podtacular.com, or use the submit button on our homepage, which takes you to a contact form which you can fill out and send a submission into us that way. Or you can call our listener voicemail, 240-200-HALO. That is 240-200-4256, and leave us a Halo-related message somewhere around the time frame of 90 seconds. Make sure you also check us out on our social media pages. We have Facebook, we have Twitter, we have YouTube, and of course we broadcast on Twitch every Thursdays at 8 now, and we still do our game nights at 8:30 on the evenings, and those are of course Eastern Daylight Time. We have Monday Night Matchmaking on Mondays, and we have Wacky Wednesdays on Wednesdays. Of course, make sure you check the Twitter and Facebook for whether or not we do Monday Night Matchmaking, because that is of course determined on whether the bulletin has an update for matchmaking. We will be having Wacky Wednesday next week. I do not believe we're having Monday Night Matchmaking, but of course stay tuned to Twitter, Facebook, and the homepage for information regarding that. Maybe looking into doing a Foreign Friday very soon. For those of you who don't know, I work for the government, and this week is my first week of furlough, so I have 11 weeks where I don't work on Fridays. So most of that time is going to be spent actually working on Halo projects that I've been wanting to work on, including wrapping up my Spartan Ops book. But there may be a chance to incorporate a game day to play with some overseas people. So we may get that up and running here within the next couple of weeks. And also thinking about doing a Throwback Tuesday. Not sure yet. We will keep the books open on that one. If you guys have any opinions on that, definitely drop us a line via Twitter, Facebook, or email.
Throw Up Tuesdays coming your way.
Throw Up Tuesdays? Why are we throwing up? Why are we throwing up?
I don't know.
Okay, Brent has issues. If you have remedies for him, please email him at brent@podtacular.com. Thank you. Yes, that is his email address. That wraps up it for the show. We will be again having our book podcast in a couple of weeks, so make sure if you have not read Silentium yet, you start reading it now. Go out to your bookstore, buy it, or download it for Kindle, or if you have other e-readers, download it for your respective e-reader, because we'll be talking about that here very soon with a very special guest. All right, that wraps up the show. Thanks again for tuning in. We will see you guys next time.
Keep on fragging bundles.
Frag those bundles.
Yes.